Hello loves, welcome back to Avalon. So this is a full moon reading here today because as I'm recording this, we are experiencing rather, a full moon in the sign of Virgo, which is a total lunar eclipse. So this is a highly charged lunar eclipse that spotlights, cleansing, routines, health, work, and the tension between perfectionism and surrender. So what we need to know about this full moon here today is that it occurs with the sun in Pisces opposite the moon in Virgo. So this emphasizes the axis of spirituality, which is a Pisces theme, versus practicality and everyday systems, which is more so a theme for the sign of Virgo. Because it's an eclipse, the effects can feel more faded or intense, often bringing endings, revelations, or turning points that echo back the themes from early 2025. So if you can think back to the beginning of March 2025 and what themes and situations occurred for you in your life at that time. Main themes of this Virgo eclipse are, for one, routines and work patterns. So there's a focus on how you organize your days, your responsibilities, and the systems that either support you or drain you. So this could be also something to reflect upon. Another topic is health and purification here. So the Virgo energy is associated with the body, with habits, cleaning up what's not working, and this can show up as a push to adjust your sleep, your boundaries, your mental hygiene, or your diet. There's also a theme here with perfection versus wholeness. So this lunation highlights where striving to be perfect has become a defense against, vulnerability or rest, asking for a more Pisces-infused approach, a more compassionate approach. And the last thing here would be culminations and closures, like I already mentioned. So this is the final eclipse in a Virgo Pisces series that began in March 2025. So it can bring a culmination or closure to a chapter around service, healing, or how you manage your energy. An example would be that you might suddenly see clearly that a work habit or a self-criticism loop is completely unsustainable, and you might feel pushed to shift it, even if the decision has been brewing for months. With this lunar eclipse energy, you might now get the energy to actually follow through on that. I would definitely say, go slow with big decisions here today and also the next 2 to 3 days, because on lunar eclipses, avoid major launches or irreversible choices exactly at this time, and definitely focus more on gentle decluttering. So tidy your workspace, your inbox, your schedule. Think more about refinement. Also, as always, support your nervous system. I think I talk about this with every full or new moon that we're experiencing here this year. So prioritize simple grounding practices like walks in nature, stretching, breath work, early nights, meditation, whatever it is that you do to ground yourself, because this Virgo Pisces theme here can heighten sensitivity and anxiety here around this eclipse energy. So definitely find ways to calm your nervous system. And also, reflect. Journaling would be a good idea, maybe journaling about what is no longer efficient or healthy in your daily life. This would really fit this full moon in Virgo here perfectly. But try to not spiral into any self-critique, right? This is going to be more so a gentle way to check in here and to reflect upon your habits, but don't obsess over them. This eclipse affects people with personal planets and points at 8 to 18 degrees of the mutable signs. So if you're a Gemini, a Virgo, a Sagittarius, or a Pisces, you're going to feel this eclipse energy the most here. And also, definitely check your birth chart and look at the house containing mid-Virgo energy, so Virgo around 19 to 20 degrees, to see which area of life is most likely to feel this eclipse the strongest. So that's the overview here, but let's check what Spirit has to say about this full moon in Virgo eclipse energy. As always, we're going to start with an overall message here with a Moonology deck. So let's see what comes up. Spirit, do you have any message for us here about this lunar eclipse energy? About this blood moon that we're going to experience here? Okay, we have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So I just talked about Geminis being affected by this lunar eclipse, so this definitely fits the topic here. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else about this energy? Thank you. We also have faith in your dreams. Oh, beautiful. This is a waxing crescent moon card. This just reminds me of spring right here, as we are already in March of 2026, where the sun is coming out again, flowers start to bloom again. I saw a butterfly and a bee actually this morning, so okay. There seems to be a message here about communicating and showing more of who it is that you are. With this new moon in Gemini card and communication is key, there might be something about presenting yourself, showing yourself to the world, stepping in your truth and showing yourself in your most authentic way that you kind of held back for a very long time here. Maybe you didn't feel safe to articulate what it is that you want. Maybe you felt like you didn't have what it takes in order to live your dreams or make your dreams come true. Maybe you held yourself back here in fully expressing yourself and showing yourself for who you truly are, because where you were was comfortable, you know, and hiding yourself a little bit and not showing your true colors completely to the people around you felt more safe. This could obviously also have something to do with the way you've been raised, with the role you play, you know, in your family, with the role you're playing in your friend group, in your social circle. But this could also be, you know, just a comfort zone where standing in the second row and not in the front, in the center of the stage, felt easier and more comfortable, and you felt more protected staying there. With this lunar eclipse, but also with this energy of the fire horse that we have entered officially here in the midst of February, this is no longer going to work for most of us. This age of Aquarius is really pushing us to express ourselves more fully and more freely and in the most authentic way we possibly can. And I feel like this is definitely a message that Spirit wants us to really understand here today, is that in order to get what it is that you want, in order to build the life of your dreams, you have to first become the most authentic version of yourself, right? Because otherwise you're always going to manifest a dream that maybe isn't your own, a dream that society forces you to consider, a dream that your family wants you to bring to fruition. You know, maybe you're constantly trying to satisfy and comfort other people with your choices, and Spirit is really telling you, you know, enough of that. You know, you need to have more confidence, more courage. You have to be brave and step more into who it is that you are, so that you can manifest the life that you actually want, not the life of your parents, not the life that your grandparents or anyone in your family want you to build, but the life that is actually truest and most authentic to you. And in order to achieve that, you have to first become your most authentic self. And that might go hand in hand with some difficult conversations, or with just expressing yourself, your needs, your wants, your emotions more freely here without being afraid of the response. Spirit is also telling you to have faith in your dreams. So if there is a certain dream specifically here that comes to mind in regard to maybe a relationship or a job or a creative endeavor, Spirit is telling you to hold that thought, but to also express that dream more freely in your life. I don't necessarily mean verbally here, to talk about your dreams with other people, but I mean, for example, if you want to become more creative or build that YouTube channel, for example, what can you do in your daily life to be more expressive of that and to embrace that energy and that dream more frequently here? So this could look like, staying with the example of a YouTube channel, to figure out what kind of videos you'd like to produce, experiment with equipment, or just take out your phone and film something and edit it after, you know, experiment, become creative in order to figure out what it is that you want. And these are the initial first steps that are going to get you to the complete fulfillment of that dream. I'm also getting like this great energy boost here, and you feeling a lot more motivated in this energy of spring that we're having here. There's definitely this energy of now that the sun comes out again and nature is beginning to bloom again, you might feel more ready to also embrace yourself and allow yourself to bloom and allow yourself to become, you know, this beautiful flower that you truly are, without holding yourself back and not allowing yourself the water that you actually need to grow your garden, right? Your own spiritual garden here. This is an energy of stepping more into your power and realizing your fullest potential, and really this season of spring here helping you embrace that energy a lot more, you know, this optimistic, positive energy of, well, maybe everything is possible, and I'm just now going to be more bold and I'm going to more freely communicate what it is that I want and what it is that I need, and I'm going to step more courageously and confidently into my truest self here without worrying so much about what other people think, because actually I think I'm going to be fine, and I'm just going to have faith in myself, and I'm going to have faith in my dreams, and everything is possible. You know, you might feel this energy quite strongly here, and it might seem a bit, you know, overly cliche, or like you're having rose tinted glasses on, so other people in your environment might be like, whoa, you know, he or she's very delusional here, like she truly believes, you know, things are changing and things are looking up. But I think you know that it's true for you. I'm getting this energy that you really believe that this year is going to be a year of change. This year is going to be the year where you shift, where you completely let go of the old version of yourself and step into more of who it is that you truly are at your core, and also allowing others to see the truest essence of yourself more freely and openly here than ever before. And with that inner shift and with that decision comes a lot of high energy and a lot of positive energy of, becoming more of who you are. That's always freeing, right? That for most of us, that feels kind of freeing, to no longer hide, to no longer wear a facade and play this role that other people expect us to play. The more that we can shed this idea of having to be something that we're not, the more freeing and the more empowering that's going to feel, right? And I see you stepping into this phase of empowerment here, especially as spring comes about. So let's see if we can clarify this message with some tarot cards here. Spirit, can you tell me more? Talk to me more about this energy. We have the Death card, how fitting. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Two more, please, Spirit. Thank you. And back at the deck energy, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is definitely Earth energy. So strong Virgo energy here coming through on this full moon in Virgo. We also have the Queen of Wands. And our last card is the Three of Cups. This is so beautiful. I'm just getting this energy of breaking free and letting loose and allowing yourself to experience more joy by embracing yourself more fully here. The Death card is quite literally transformation energy. So this is an awakening. As we kickstart spring, this is really an energy of you waking up to the truth of what it is that you want and how you might actually get there, embracing your independence and your freedom here. Like, you might be single or not actively searching or looking for a relationship here, but this could also be an energy of you spending more time alone, but feeling more at peace while doing that, you know? So not necessarily feeling the need to spend a lot of time with people because you actually enjoy your own company so much, but also with this Gemini energy and with this Queen of Wands and Three of Cups, quite the opposite could be true as well, that you're coming out of this energy of hiding, tucking yourself away, being a little bit in hermit mode and a little bit more antisocial, which is definitely the energy of winter here, right? In December and January, we're usually in this energy of being a bit more reclusive, maybe staying in more, spending more time alone. And now with spring, I see you kind of getting out of your shell, socializing more, expressing yourself more fully here. I'm definitely seeing a creative hobby or a creative idea that has been ruminating in your head for a very, very long time. And you actually now taking active steps to make it happen. This could be a pottery class, this could be learning to paint or learning a new language, and this could be a hobby that you do with friends, so maybe starting a yoga class together or learning to meditate together, or whatever, going for walks on a Sunday together in order to kind of recuperate yourselves and find inner balance again. But I see this new way of how you approach your life in general, this new energy, this optimistic outlook, this idea of, as long as I'm me and as long as I am allowed to be me and to express myself freely, I'm unstoppable. There's this real energy boost I'm feeling here for you, where it's like, I'm no longer going to hold myself back. I'm no longer going to allow other people to hold me back. And I'm fully going to embrace this energy of shifting out of one version of myself that I have outgrown last year into this new version and fully learning to embody it. So this is definitely the beginning of a shift here. We are now in year 1. So this is definitely the energy here of starting a new 9-year cycle, but in a whole new way, with you having integrated all of the lessons and growing pains here of 2025. And maybe you needed January and February of this year as well to kind of integrate these lessons and heal off anything that you carried with you from the past. Maybe you had to let go of a lot more baggage here in winter, but now that we're in March, entering this energy of spring, I see you having fully integrated it, being more balanced and being ready to get out and take on the world in the most authentic way possible here. The Queen of Wands is fire energy, so you could also be a fire sign. We also have Cups energy here. You could also be a water sign, but I see this energy of really going after your desires in this very passionate, fiery energy, and at the same time learning to be emotionally mature about it, or learning to listen to your intuition and your emotions more, and letting your emotional intelligence infuse your passions and your desires, and that guiding you onto the way that feels like the most authentic, truest way of being for you personally. I see you being more emotionally balanced and feeling more emotionally safe, and at the same time having all this energy here, this motivation to no longer hold back from what it is that you actually like to do, and just going out and do it. I see you socializing more. I see you maybe going to an event, to a party, and maybe meeting new people. But I see you overall in this very balanced energy here with this Queen of Pentacles card, where you know how to nurture yourself, you know how to care for yourself, how to look after yourself. Now you're learning to show the world more of who it is that you are, and actually articulating your wants and needs a lot more than before. Maybe also articulating boundaries, being more clear about what it is that you need, that you expect, and also what it is that you're no longer going to allow and take in from other people. But you are more boldly just following your dreams here, having faith and courage and trust in the universe that you will get to exactly where you need to be when the timing is right, and you don't have to worry about how it's going to come in. You just know that it's going to come in, as long as you take the active steps needed to fulfill your part of this promise, of manifesting in whatever it is that you want here. So this is a very good energy to be in here. I am actually getting that you're no longer settling for something, that you're no longer holding yourself back, that you're more open with what you need and what you're less willing to take. This is the full embodiment of who it is that you truly are, without being afraid of what other people think about it anymore. This is a beautiful energy to be in. All right, so this is what I see for you here, or rather for all of us in this lunar eclipse energy. So definitely more so an outgoing, active energy of no longer staying back and keeping quiet and holding everything in, but to become a lot louder, a lot more expressive, a lot more self-assured, a lot more truthful and confident here. And that definitely has something to do with spring season as well, but also with the inner shift that you've been cultivating here for quite a few months. And now that we are kind of exiting the winter season, it's going to come into fruition, and you will definitely kickstart this year now with a lot of fresh and new energy here to take on the world. This is what I keep hearing. I keep hearing you are going to take on the world. Let's take on the world. So let's do it, guys. This is a great message for all of us. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I wish you a great rest of your week and see you next time. Bye.